it was always in the back burner. I'm like, I'm a felon. These people are nice white people. You know, they do comedy, they go home, they giggle.
Right.
You know, I didn't know the underworld of comedy at the time, that there was so many drugs involved. And I knew the Belushi stories, and I loved Richard Pryor. And then I just took a stand-up comedy class when I got out of prison.
Did you ever meet Colin?
No, yes, I did. I met him in Spokane, Washington.
That was my idol. I had all his albums.
I met him in Washington.
Genius. He was more than a comic. He was like a professor, you know?
Yeah. A tremendous fucking writer, man. And he really just, I respected him, but I liked Pryor a little more because he was on the wild side.
Absolutely.
More with the coke and the hookers. And
the one with the red outfit when he talks about the mafia. Oh my God. Holy shit. Come here. Fucking good. You got to see it. It's fucking great.
I started with Pryor like in 73. I went to my friend's house, and his brother was a junkie, and we went over to listen to the Beatles' White Album, and his brother came out and said, "What the fuck are you motherfuckers listening to?" And he put on Richard Pryor, Is It Something I Said? And when I heard Dracula versus the Wino, I was done. I was fucking done. And then when I got out of prison, I read that book by Lenny Bruce about when he lived in the Chelsea and all that shit.
Yep.
And I'm like, what else does a guy like me want to do? This is the perfect life. He works for the strip club and a burlesque show. He goes back to the Chelsea and he shoots heroin. At least he knows who he is. And I was content with being that person. As sad as it sounds, I was content. That's the life of a stand-up comic. We were talking about this earlier. This is why it conflicts with guys like you and I. I had a friend of mine talk to me last week about his girlfriend, and she's getting some heat in comedy. And she wants to headline at 4 years. And I'm like, it's a fucking mistake.
4 years?
I go, it's a mistake. I go, you could headline like a D room to get time, but you're not going to put yourself in a good position. And he goes, why not? And I go, because you have to develop a fucking muscle. There's a certain muscle. And at 4 years, you don't have, I don't give a fuck what you tell me.
Stage time.
I don't give a fuck what you tell me at 4 years. You don't have that muscle. You got the time. Everybody's got the time. I can go up there and do 3 hours. Is it going to be funny? Not really. Is it going to be entertaining? I don't know. But, you know, these people don't care. They want it all too quickly. She's younger. And I'm like, that's insulting.
Some of their egos are bigger than their acts.
Well, because they get a little bit of heat. And this is where I had the heart. Like, I would have never had a career if it wasn't for social media. I did not like it. When Rogan would say shit to me about Twitter, I go, let me ask you a question. Do you think that Richard Pryor leaves the Comedy Store at 2 o'clock and goes home to tweet people?
Right.
Are you fucking retarded? That is not the path that we followed.
Could you imagine George Carlin on Facebook? People would have seizures.
Seizures.
They'd be jumping off the ledge.
But it's very like it wasn't who we were.
Right.
And I was telling Jimmy Florentine 2 days ago, I go, I tell you when I fucking knew social media, I had to do something. When I saw Rogan sell out, this is like 2000, he sold out Irvine without radio.
Was this after Fear Factor?
This is right on the cusp of Fear Factor.
Okay.
But there was no advertising, is what my point was. And he added 2 shows, 4th of July weekend.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, I walked in there and the show was completely sold out. And I go, how did you do this without radio? And he goes,
social media.
Pressed a button. And before that stuff went down with Mencia and stuff, he was packing the Comedy Store on Friday nights, packing it with social media. So I figured you had to get on, you know, once what's his name fucking blew up, then everybody went to social media. The guy that jumped up and down, he's got a new special out, Dane Cook.
Oh, okay.
Because Dane was the professional on MySpace, and he...
It's funny you mentioned Joe Rogan. The last time I saw him, he this is like, you ever have one of those obscure, random memories?
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you don't know what the fuck you had for breakfast? It was the Boston Comedy Club in West 4th Street, Manhattan. 4th Street, yeah. Me and Rogan... Rob Schneider's on stage, and he used to have this bit about different ways to use the word dude. You know, different situations. He's killing, he's crushing. Me and Rogan are off in the hallway. He's about to go on. Rod got the light. He's eating fucking Chinese spare rib. I'm like, Joe, you're going on soon. Yeah, I know. And he finished it and then he got introduced. That's it. That's my Joe Rogan story.
I'll never forget the first time I worked at your Rascals. I called
West Orange.
West Orange.
That was one of the greatest comedy Danny McKenna.
Hairdo.
The only manager who could fart at will. If you say, Danny, do me a favor, fart. He could fart. I can't do that.
I still talk to him.
Do that.
I love him to death.
The hairdo, yeah.
The hairdo didn't move. But I think I worked with you because I had a bad experience with Rocky Laporte.
Oh, from Chicago.
Because he was mad because I was improvising. And then, he's too dirty. He's improvising. He's this, he's that.
Don't you love comics?
So I go, hairdo, you got to put me with a fucking savage that's not going to complain about me because I got the guy. And the next time you come, it was you. And that night you did a bit about going on vacation with your kids in a station wagon from Staten Island. You did 20 minutes and you're like, and the best part of it, all that happened, we didn't even leave the fucking parking spot yet, and I fucking died. And I called Rogan, I go, dog, I'm working Rascals with this fucking dude, VIC DIBITETTO. He's like, oh my God, that dude's a fucking dangerous dude, be careful. And you were fucking destroying. I mean, that I was in awe, like talking about the kids and getting in the station wagon, and your wife was yelling, and then at one point you're going, all this, and we didn't even get out of the fucking parkway yet. We didn't even get out of the parking lot yet. Wow. I was fucking dying.
What year was that? 90?
No. I started in 91. I didn't work Rascals till late 90s. Camacho?
That had to be Tony Camacho.
Tony Camacho.
You ever see his tongue? It's like, it's tremendous. I know, you're probably thinking, how the fuck did I see his tongue?
I know, that's not good. That's not good.
He's got a big tongue. He'll display it to people.
I haven't heard from him or don't know where he is.
He's like the Pete Best of fucking comedy, right?
Yeah, he is.
You know what I'm saying?
Nobody ever heard from him.
He was right there with Messina and
all of them.
Yep.
And he called me once for a ride from the airport. Hey, are you busy today? Can you give me a ride to the airport? I'm like, are you fucking crazy, Tony Camacho? This is LAX.
Sweetest guy, though.
Nice guy.
He calls me up once and says, Vic, what are you doing May 1st and 2nd? I said, Tony, I'm booked with you. I was booked with, he didn't know he had me, but the sweetheart of a guy. Biggest tongue.
You think of all those people that we came across.
Oh, my God.
And I call these people, I'm thinking of writing another book, and I'm calling it Angels, just to give these people credit, the people that came into your life on the fucking road.